Well, hello everyone. It says we're live today, so we're live in a different location today. I am looking after my two little grandkids, a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. So one of them's still having a nap, the other one's just playing right now. So hopefully I can squeeze this in before the other one gets up. So we are going to talk today a little bit about something that you're reading. Jump in and let me know. I'll just put this up here. Let me know what you guys are reading right now or working on for your personal development, personal growth, those type of things. And we will have a little chat about that. So we have somebody jumping in here. Hello, Patricia. Lovely to see you today. Getting all geared up to come and watch baseball tonight, I hope. That's good. My name's Heather Edmondson, and I'm coming at you live here this afternoon, like I said, from my son's house, looking after his two little ones while they're at work. And like I said, might have some little interruptions. I don't know. So we're going to talk today a little bit about personal growth, personal development. Let me know what you guys are reading right now to help out. Oh, yeah, Patricia says she's ready to go and watch Polly play ball tonight, so that's awesome. So I've just been listening to some books on Audible because that's a little bit easier. I can do things and still listen to stuff through my headphones and still get other things done in my day. And I just finished listening to Miracle Morning. So I don't know if any of you have listened to that by Hal Elrod or read the book, whichever works best for you, so you can fit it in your day. And he talks about being mentally prepared and setting yourself up for a win instead of a failure. Not that a failure is a bad thing. A failure can be a learning lesson. So I don't ever look at failures as being a bad thing. We just learn from them, and then we learn not to repeat them. So that's a step forward in the right direction. He also said about he was in a really bad accident, and it gave him a whole different perspective of how much he had to work to get himself better after this accident. He was in a terrible car crash and smashed up pelvis and femur and ribs and all kinds of stuff was happening to him. So then he had to go through a huge rehabilitation program. And so to do that, he had to get his mind in the right mindset to help himself get through this hard time. And since he went through that, then he decided to write a book and talk about his experiences and stuff. And so in this book, he talks about how we have to motivate ourselves to get up in the morning and like I said, get our head in the right headspace. Sometimes if you prepare yourself a little bit, then you can get yourself going in the right direction and, like I said, into the right headspace. And so he set his alarm earlier, and he said that he was going to implement running into his life. Actually, a friend convinced him into doing the running and actually competing in a marathon down the road after he'd been doing it for a little while. And he goes, well, like, I'm not a morning person. How am I ever going to do this? How am I ever going to get to that point? And it comes down to the mindset of what we say to ourselves the night before we go to bed. He said that if you say to yourself, oh, I'm only going to get 4 hours of sleep and I'm going to be so tired the next day, then of course, when you wake up, it doesn't matter what time or how much sleep you get, you're still going to wake up and you're going to have that in your mind that you're going to be tired already before you even, like I said, before you went to bed the night before. You're setting your mind up for what you think is predicting what's going to happen. And he said, so he did a little experiment and he tried getting up at or going and only getting 4 hours of sleep or 6 hours of sleep or 8 hours of sleep. And it didn't matter what or how much amount of sleep he got. If he told himself that he was going to be tired the next morning, he would be tired the next morning. So we have to do self-affirmations, self-talk to ourselves and say, yeah, I'm only going to get maybe 6 hours of sleep tonight, but I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have a good attitude. And I'm going to hit the day running and I'm going to start out with a smile on my face. And so doing those affirmations and telling yourself things, the brain is a powerful tool. And if we tell it certain things or we write down in a journal over and over, like these affirmations that I'm saying, then they can come to fruition. They can come to beliefs because in your mindset, you actually believe that these are going to happen. So that's like I said, getting your brain in the right mindset, in the right headspace. So he gets up now at 5:30 and he doesn't even have to have an alarm. He can jump out of bed and do his stuff. And I was really good doing that for a while after I was had my cancer treatment and I was healing myself and trying to get myself back into exercise and eating healthy again after being so darn sick with my cancer treatment. And I didn't have a problem getting up in the morning. Whereas before, like you said, you talk yourself into thinking you're going to be tired way before you even go to bed that night. And people would say to me, well, how do you get up at 4:45 in the morning, Heather, and do your hours worth of exercise and eat and shower and get ready and go to work? And I said, well, it's just all in your mindset. People said, well, how can you give up sugar and how can you give up white flour and stuff? And I said, well, it's like somebody being told that they're a diabetic. They know that they can't eat that stuff or it's going to make them sick. So it's whatever you wrap your head around. And now for a bit, I've fallen out of that routine and it's really hard to get back into it. So for the last 3-4 days after listening to this Miracle Morning, I'm back into feeling better about myself and actually getting myself up at a regular time. And especially in this time when we kind of all got out of routine with all of this sickness going on, people being stuck at home, me being a nurse and having to work in some different kinds of situations with all of this sickness. I, like I said, let things go on the slide. I was eating things that I shouldn't have been eating lots of sugar and lots of flour. And my husband was baking cinnamon buns and bread and stuff like that. And I haven't had bread for I don't know how many years. But anyways, kind of got out of the routine of really looking after myself. So trying to get back to that has been a little bit of a hard battle. But since I've given up the sugar for even just a week or so, hey, honey, little grandson might pop in here. Lost my train of thought there for a second. Squirrel moment. Getting back into that routine again is like I said, it's a hard thing to do. But once you've done it for 2 or 3 days, then your body doesn't even need to wake up to that alarm clock. I know with my husband, when he was working in the oil patch every day and going and getting up early in the morning because he had to drive into a different province and they were an hour ahead of us in the wintertime, he would still get up at 4:30 and no problem bounce out of bed and stuff like that because he had a good mindset about it and he would wrap his head around what he had to do and what he had to do to move forward. So after getting yourself into a routine, your body just will wake up at that normal time and you'll be able to do those special things for yourself. And I know that being a busy mom, for some people now, my kids are bigger. Like I said, I've got grandkids. It's hard to find that time for yourself in the day. So why not get up a little bit earlier? I know. Everybody says, "Oh my gosh, I can't get up." It's another thing I have to do in the day. But when it's peace and quiet in the house, and you can actually think and have your cup of tea or your coffee or whatever it is for you that you like to do, and just sit there and hold the tea or that coffee and the warmth, and you can feel it, and it calms you, and you can do your deep breathing, or you can do that affirmations or the journaling or the meditation that you do, or yoga or stretching. It can make a whole world of difference in your day. And so like I said, for the last 3-4 days, I've been getting up at 5:30, even though I don't have to go to work. I'm home right now. I've just had surgery and I'm healing from that, but I'm still getting up and I can't really exercise, but I am doing my deep breathing and I'm laying there. I laid there and did some meditation with some nice quiet music this morning while my husband was upstairs still snoring. And now we're here today looking after the grandkids. So I feel like my mind is clearer. I feel like I'm in a better headspace, even just doing this. And I don't need a coffee and I don't need a tea to keep going. I feel better. I'm breathing better. I'm eating better. I'm not putting all that poisonous white sugar in my system. And hopefully that is some tips that maybe will help you. Prepare yourself the night before. Like this Hal said, he even sometimes goes to sleep in his workout clothes so that he knows in the morning that he's just going to jump out of bed and do his workout. But he does his meditation or deep breathing, and then he does his exercise. You need to get a little bit of exercise to get your blood flowing and to get that blood up and oxygen up to your brain to make you have a little bit of a better, like I said, mindset. And then today, I finished that Miracle Morning book yesterday, and today I started 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. And I'm also listening to that through Audible, like I said, because I can get that done and do other things at the same time. So kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And he talked about, which stuck in my mind, this fellow named Abinson, which we are Edmondson. So I thought that was kind of cool. Had prepared to go to the Antarctica, and they made it a competition between this other team and himself and his team. But he did a bunch of research. Can't even talk. he did a bunch of research before having to go to our Antarctica, and he prepared with dog sled teams to have stations set up along the way, and he mapped it all out, how far the distance they would have to travel, and he would have stations set up that were there and waiting for him with food and supplies, and they had to be taken ahead of time by dog sled, and then he had the dog sled teams move him across where they had to go to find Antarctica. And the other team didn't really do any preparation, and they came over to do their finding the Antarctica, and they came with horses. Well, so then the horses didn't. Hi, Sadie. Our horses didn't make it out too good in the winter conditions, and they ended up dying because they couldn't survive. And this team, of course, failed big time because they didn't have enough. They didn't have enough. Where's your ponytail? They didn't have enough supplies or food, or they hadn't prepared. So if you prepare yourself the night before, it can be a real huge benefit because, yeah, you're just in the right mindset. And you sit down for a sec. Sit down for a sec. You're in the right mindset, and like I said, you're half the battle is won because you're prepared. So I will go now because little guys are up, and we'll see you later, Patricia. Thank you, Beth, for popping in here. Sorry I didn't get a chance to give you a shout out till now. And anybody jumping in on the replay, please let me know, and I will give you a shout out after the fact. So hope everyone has a rest of your Monday, as it is a good rest of your Monday, and we will talk to you later. Okay, bye-bye for now. See you on Wednesday. Bye.